Hello, my name is Andrea Hermit, Miss Andrea, as I prefer to be called. Um, I am a veteran homeschooler. I have a YouTube. This YouTube account is probably 12 years old or something. A lot of my earlier videos are trash because I was still learning. Um, but my most recent videos that I made since COVID-19 started are good. So please take time to go back and watch them. Um, they're more about my experiences in homeschooling, um, going all the way back, and how I got where I am. And where I am is about a year ago, I started a homeschool program, and of course, COVID-19 drove it online. But my mission in life is to literally uh, get kids into college through homeschooling with scholarships. Um, I am free and able. I will have a consultation with anyone for free, and then we'll set up any fees that are necessary. I'm working hard on grants so that I can charge people as little as humanly possible, if anything at all. That said, today I want to talk about the benefits of homeschooling during COVID-19. Um, I've been watching the last few months uh, the homeschool message boards, and there are a lot of new people who never even considered homeschooling asking questions about how to go about it. And these are the ones that want to do the crisis schooling through the school, the ones that want to do the public school online, and people who want to also veer off the path and homeschool. All of these people are asking questions, and they're all getting pretty soundly bad advice from people who have been homeschooling for less than 5 years. Um, and I homeschooled for 10 years. And at the end of that 10 years, um, I think I was still hesitant to give advice because you have to understand how different each child is. And you can't give someone advice based on, how your own kids are doing or have done or what your own kids have done. You really need to individualize advice, ask questions before you give advice, and so forth. So I find myself sitting back and watching this flow of just really bad advice from, and I'm not going to knock the youth, the young homeschoolers who are, I guess, millennials, but they haven't been in it long enough to really give sound advice. If someone says, "Hey, I'm scared about COVID-19, what should I do?" To say, decompress for a year. You didn't even ask a question or say, "Oh, don't worry, just unschool them." It's bad advice. It's bad advice. Um, Now, I'm not saying they don't need to decompress. I'm not saying that they shouldn't unschool. I'm saying just suggesting that based on how you do things is bad. All that to say hello to the person who is watching. Please leave a comment. Um, all of that to say, there are lots and lots of benefits of homeschooling during 19. And I really make videos about the benefits of homeschooling because I really think that you have to go into it with so much thought that I don't want to hype people up who aren't ready to do the thing. But here we are. It's 2020. Um, Spring was canceled, summer's canceled. And because people won't take precautions, fall was probably canceled. Um, and where I live, they are trying to send kids back to school either on a day on, day off routine, which is not helping parents with jobs at all, or on a full-time schedule or pick and choose. And they don't they're saying wear masks, but all the pushback from parents is telling me that that can't be enforced. Meanwhile, I have friends who are public school teachers who have been told this week to write their wills and to write down what they would like in a funeral. And I pause because my brain just, wow. So you know this is going to kill teachers. No hazard pay, nothing. Homeschooling. So for those of us who want to opt out of that kind of situation, and you've never homeschooled before, and you're probably super freaking out right now, I'm going to move this because, oh no. Okay, so I lost access to my screen for a minute when I went to slide the computer over, so I won't do that again. I'm still live. Cool. The benefits for small children is, in my own experience, that you get to make education a part of everyday living. It just becomes supernatural. Where the child is just learning. I mean, you didn't set up a little desk and stuff when you taught them their ABCs. You didn't, write a lesson plan to teach them how to tie their shoes. They just learned. You just taught them little bits at a time. You know what I mean? You didn't need an IEP to teach them how to eat with a spoon. Anything a child can learn in kindergarten or first grade, not first grade, reading is different, in pre-K or kindergarten, can be taught with them not even realizing that they're having a formal lesson. So that's a huge benefit for younger children, is they just get to kind of keep playing, no stress, no stress. At the same time, you can give them a stronger foundation, because in school, everyone is going at this pace and everyone gets introduced to a thing. But if the child doesn't pick it up right away, or if the teacher doesn't teach in a way that's natural to the child, because it's not always about the child not picking it up. Sometimes it's about the teacher not teaching it in a way that works for the child. So if the child doesn't pick it up, that's something that they just didn't learn, and the class is still moving forward. And then more and more things start getting dropped because those things are foundations. So you get to teach those foundation things at your child's pace in a way that it's going to stay with them forever. Alphabet, early reading, phonics, and sight words, but phonics. And then you get into the maths, those concepts get to be stronger because you're going at your child's own pace. And even in the worst case scenario where it takes longer, it still doesn't take longer than in the classroom because it's you focusing, on the child. Okay. And so this gives them a head start with a strong foundation to move forward into the upper years of school. And when this whole COVID-19 mess is over, maybe you can send them back to school and they'll blow everyone away, with how ready they are. Middle school children. If you have a child in or approaching middle school, I promise you there are gaps in their education for the same reason that I just mentioned. The gaps would be because, the class was moving at a pace and your child wasn't getting something and the class kept going. And there are also things that just aren't taught anymore. Roman numerals, cursive, Some schools teach them, some schools don't. And so you get a chance to go back and, test your child through things, take them through, get a curriculum guide, take them through things, see what they learned, see what they didn't learn, and you get to fill in those gaps now. Something I like to do with middle schoolers, especially before they get to high school math, is I like to put them on Khan Academy, Khan Academy. If you know about YouTube, you know about Khan Academy because, they're both Google properties. Anyway, or they're both connected to Google, something like that. Anyway, what I do, and some of them get their feelings a little hurt, and some of them understand that it's just a game, is I put them back in, there's a category called elementary math. I mean, you could put them back in first grade and make them work their way through, but they really get their feelings hurt. So I put them in elementary math at the beginning of the summer, and I say, finish that this summer. And what that does is reinforce everything they've learned. And any gaps that are missing, you'll find them. So they reinforce everything that they've learned, through, first through fifth grade. And then I put them on the middle school math afterwards. But I just, if you're under a certain age, I take advantage of that and spend 3 months reviewing all math till now, before setting them up, because they're just going to do better if they've reviewed everything. For middle school kids, this is also a good time to set habits and expectations for the high school years. That whole, here's an assignment, get it done on time deal. Not only that, but you can help them take the assignment and break it down into bite-sized chunks and set due dates on every single chunk so that your child understands the processes of working through a project and delivering it on time. This is done very easily if you just decide, well, we're homeschooling this year and we're not doing it with the school, so we're going to do it ourselves. Let me get a checklist of what my child needs to know, but let's fold all of this into a project. Let's fold this all into projects and have your child deliver projects through the year that's going to hit on those things they also need to know. And if anyone needs help developing such a curriculum like that, I'm someone who can either do it with you, for you, or refer you to someone, if it's more specialized than my personal bandwidth. I look up because I have 2 monitors, and the higher monitor is the one I see myself on, so FYI. Older children, high school. This is where pulling them out to homeschool gets tricky. Especially in this COVID-19 situation. If you pull a child out of a public high school, you probably need to keep them out and not put them back in. I'll tell you how you can put them back in, but it's difficult to put them back in because the school is going to look at the last formal public school transcript they had and then place them according to that. So if you take them out for the COVID-19 year, they're going to miss the year. They're going to have a lost year when you put them back. Now, between you and me, I'd rather have a 16-year-old a year behind than not have a child. That's just me. Okay? So, if I'm going to pull out a 9th or 10th grader or 11th grader to get around COVID-19, I'm just going to plan on homeschooling them right into college. Guess what you're doing in 2 years? You're going to college. You're not going back to school. Is what it is. But the beauty of homeschooling starting in the high school years is that you do get to individualize their education and get more toward their career that they are choosing, if they think they are choosing, because that always changes, and their specific talents. When you're in school, they have to break up their time so much to things they're not interested in. And if you can put the bulk of their time to what they're interested in, they're going to shine. And if they shine real hard, real bright in one specific area, the colleges will eat them up. As long as the other areas, they come out average. Okay? Okay. Um, they have more time to focus on future work. If they're going to be a veterinarian, you can get them volunteering in a vet's office, or you can get them interviewing veterinarians. You can get them reading about veterinarians. Whatever it is they want to do, you now have more time to make sure that they want to do it, because they might, go discover more and go, no, that's not for me. Do you know how much money you've saved if your child changes their mind before you start paying for college? And then so they can really think about what they really, you know what I'm saying? Likewise, there's the ability to start a business, because they're going to have spare time on their hands from homeschooling. You'd be shocked on how much time is left on your hands when you homeschool. And so now they have the ability to literally start a business, whether it's selling things, whether it's making things, whether it's service. They have time to start getting money in their pockets and developing themselves as a business owner. The thing I like best, and the probably smartest thing you can do with this time, is to accelerate their education. Excuse me. I woke up this morning with a really nasty throat. You have the ability to accelerate their education. And what I mean is, they can finish everything very quickly. They can shave a year to year and a half off of their high school. It can be done quite easily. Because I'll just give, for an example, my daughter finished high school a month before turning 17. Nope, when she was still 16. She turned 17 in July. And so she entered college having just turned 17. The requirements to enter college and the requirements to finish high school aren't necessarily the same. Depends on the college your kid is going to. So there's some things that colleges will require or won't require that high schools do. So now you've shaved off a few courses there, right? Not only that, but it doesn't take a full year to learn geometry. Geometry, I've never seen a child take more than a semester to learn geometry. They just, because homeschooling is done faster, they can now add more work and do more work that way. They can prove their knowledge. And this is how you get them back into public school, if you want them back into public school, is to help them prove their knowledge. They can prove their knowledge through AP subject tests, something called CLEP exam, CLEP, look it up, and also dual enrollment with the college. As young as 10th grade, a smart student can go ahead and start dual enrolling. And guess what? In the United States, it's pretty, I'm pretty sure, I know no state that I know of charges for dual enrollment. So you're getting college credits for free. Okay? And so now, speaking of college, you just have the ability to present them better to the college. You've had more time to show that they're really gifted in a particular area. They've done schoolwork at a college level and proven themselves there. They've done entrepreneurship. Maybe they volunteered. All these things are going to make their portfolio better. You know how at the end of every year, there's kind of a lawsuit against an Ivy League where someone who got straight A's and did everything by the book sues and says that some kid who didn't have their resume got into the Ivy League instead of them, it's because this child was too textbook. These schools are looking for kids who do very well across the board, but they're also looking for kids who show promise in certain areas, or like just an extreme amount of promise in one area. They want people who can become grad students and become professors, who can put put I don't know, spearhead a project that's going to, make that college look good. They don't just want students who have good enough grades to be able to hang. They want someone who's going to help, build a reputation with and for that college. So this is why homeschooling high school kids is so valuable, because you have the opportunity to make your child so attractive, and when they're that attractive, they typically don't have to pay. So that is all I have for today. That was 20 minutes. Um, watch my previous videos, all the lives, watch the lives. I'm most proud of my live videos that I started uh, just over a month ago. I find them to be most authentic to who I am, um, with less trying to figure out YouTube. I just said, forget YouTube. I'm just going to turn on live and I'm going to talk what I know from my head and my heart. So if you have a question, leave a comment or leave a private message. I'll answer it every time. My specialty is getting kids into college with scholarships, homeschool kids. I also have a great track record of writing a very easy to follow education plan for students, as in a syllabus, but I break it down week by week, lesson by lesson, so the child will go in and know this is what I do today. So if you need someone to guide your child through their individualized education, I'm also the person that you would call on. If you need someone more local to you, then I can probably help you find someone. So that's it. Until next time.